Have you ever felt the burning, desperate urge to scream the truth when someone lied about you? That moment where your heart races, your palms sweat, and you just know you need to defend your name before it's ruined forever? Stop. Take a breath. What if I told you that speaking up in that moment is exactly what destroys you, and silence is the weapon that destroys them? Welcome to INVICTUS X. Today, we aren't just talking about keeping your mouth shut. We are exploring the ancient, weaponized psychology of strategic silence. We live in a world that demands noise, instant replies, clapbacks, and public defenses. But the Stoics knew a secret that modern society has forgotten. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Here are the 7 times you must stay silent, not out of weakness, but to let the natural laws of karma do the heavy lifting for you. 1. When the lie is spread. There is a cruel paradox in human psychology. The more frantically you defend yourself against a lie, the more guilty you look. It's the Streisand effect of character assassination. When someone spreads a rumor, they are setting a trap. They want you to struggle. Consider the story of Elena, a high-performing architect. A jealous colleague began whispering that Elena was stealing designs from interns. Elena's instinct was to call a team meeting, send angry emails, and present time-stamped files to everyone. But she stopped. She realized that dragging everyone into a debate would only validate the rumor. Instead, she went radio silent on the drama and high volume on her work. She let her output speak. Within 2 months, the accuser was caught claiming credit for a project he didn't understand, exposing his incompetence. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By refusing to engage in the mudslinging, Elena remained clean. The truth has a way of buoyant physics. It always floats to the surface if you don't weigh it down with your own desperate defenses. 2. The sharp knife of betrayal. Betrayal is unique because it doesn't come from your enemies. It comes from those you allowed inside your armor. When a close friend or partner breaks that trust, the immediate reaction is to demand an explanation. Why did you do this? How could you? But here is a hard pill to swallow. The person who betrayed you has already justified their actions in their head. They have rewritten the narrative to make themselves the hero or the victim, but certainly not the villain. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, reminds us that we often suffer more in our imagination than in reality. By engaging with a betrayer, you prolong that suffering. You are asking for closure from the very person who broke you. That is like going to a thief and asking for a refund. Silence is your closure. When you cut off access, no arguments, no final letters, just a complete and total exit. You force them to sit with their actions. You remove the audience for their twisted justifications. 3. The trap of the insult. Insults are essentially invitations. An insult is someone saying, "I am handing you a bag of my emotional trash. Please hold it for me." When you get angry, you accept the bag. Psychologists often refer to the gray rock method when dealing with narcissists or toxic antagonists. You become as uninteresting and unreactive as a gray rock. I recall a scenario at a family dinner where a distant relative made a snide comment about a cousin's failing startup. The table went quiet, waiting for the explosion. The cousin simply took a sip of water, smiled politely, and turned to the person next to him to ask about their garden. The insulter was left floating in the awkward silence of his own making. It was brutal. By not reacting, the cousin highlighted the rudeness of the comment without saying a word. As the Stoics advise, if you are distressed by something external, The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Remove the estimate, and you remove the pain. 4. The professional victim. We all know that one person, the one who is always the victim of the boss, the weather, the traffic, and the universe. If you try to offer logic, they accuse you of not being supportive. If you offer sympathy, they drain your energy dry. They are not looking for a solution. They are looking for an emotional feeding tube. Arguing with a professional victim is like wrestling a pig in the mud. After an hour, you realize the pig likes it. Silence is the only boundary they respect because it cuts off the fuel supply. When you stop offering solutions and stop validating their distorted reality, they will eventually move on to a new host. It's not cruel. It's self-preservation. 5. When your value is invisible. The economic law of scarcity applies to human relationships. Value is driven by availability. If you are always available, always fixing things, and always present, despite being mistreated, your value drops to 0. Think of it like oxygen. You only realize how much you need it when it's gone. If you are constantly trying to prove your worth to a boss or a nice romantic partner who ignores you, you are engaging in a losing battle. You're trying to sell a product to someone who thinks they can get it for free. Silence here is passive action. It is the act of stepping back. Don't announce you are leaving. Just withdraw your effort. Let them feel the weight of the tasks you used to carry. As Confucius noted, silence is a space for introspection. By stepping back, you give them the space to realize what they have lost, while you gain the introspection to realize you deserve better. 6. The provocation game. Some people are chaos agents. They are bored, miserable, or insecure, and they use conflict as a way to feel something. They will poke you, mock your beliefs, or trigger your insecurities just to see you dance. If you get angry, you have handed them the remote control to your emotions. You are now their puppet. I've seen this in online debates constantly. A troll makes an inflammatory statement. A well-meaning person writes a 3-page rebuttal. The troll laughs. The only way to win a rigged game is not to play. Silence creates a vacuum that the provoker must fill with their own noise, eventually exhausting themselves. 7. The regret of the lost. Eventually, the wheel of karma turns. The boss who fired you realizes the team is falling apart. The ex who cheated realizes the grass wasn't greener. They come back. They send the, "Hey, how have you been?" text. This is the most critical time for silence. Your instinct will be to lecture them, to say, "I told you so," or to explain how much they hurt you. Don't. If you explain, you are teaching them how to manipulate you better next time. You are showing them that they still have access to your inner world. Silence is the ultimate signifier of game over. It communicates that they no longer exist in your reality. It is the highest form of self-respect. Silence isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering your response. It is the transition from being a reactive animal to a rational human being. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and the great thinkers of history didn't just teach us to endure pain. They taught us how to transmute it into power. By holding your tongue, you protect your soul. So, I have a challenge for you today. Pick one of these 7 areas where you are currently leaking energy. Maybe it's the defensive explaining, or maybe it's the need to have the last word. Try silence for 48 hours in that specific area and watch how the dynamic shifts. We want to hear from you. Which of these 7 situations is the hardest for you to stay silent in? Share your story in the comments below. Let's build a community of strength right here on Invictus X. Thank you for watching, and remember, let them talk, let karma answer, and you stay Invictus.